only 20% of Delhi's pollution originates from inside Delhi because it's a small city state. 80% of it originates from the NCR area. Of all of the steps in the last 1 year, Aditi, parali burning in Punjab has gone down by 50%. This is just 1 year. One has to also realize that these are very traditional farming practices. So it's not like overnight one can change them. So if we want the farmers to stop burning parali, then we have to ensure that there is an MSP for millets and some of the other crops, for the lentils, which the farmers have been asking for. A large part of our population right now is an air emergency. And I'm yet to see the central union minister, environment minister, or the prime minister talk about it. Actually, I sometimes feel there's not enough politics on air pollution. There is not enough politics on issues of environment. The politics is on issues of minorities and on what you are eating, what I'm eating.
The national capital is gasping for air once again. And this is the story of every November. Every year, the pollution problem peaks in November. Everybody makes a huge hue and cry and then forgets about it till next November. And this November, too, the air quality index is, of course, only worsening. I have with me AAP spokesperson Reena Gupta to understand what the AAP government is doing to tackle the crisis and also why they have moved from blaming Punjab, which once used to blame Punjab for the problems of Delhi, to only BJP ruled Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. Why are we politicizing this very critical issue for the health of not just Delhiites but the entire North India? So I'll start with Delhi. I'll start with this year again. You've been in power for 10 years. In fact, I think it was in January 2020 that Arvind Kejriwal ji released a 10-point guarantee card. One of those guarantees was reducing pollution by 1/3. Yet come this time of the year and we are again gasping for breath.
So, Aditi, I think the first thing that we all have to realize is that it is a problem of North India. It's a problem of the Indo-Gangetic Plain, which impacts 70 crore people annually. So, as a country, we have to agree that this problem can only be tackled if we have all the state governments together under the leadership of the central government. Because as you know very well, it's not as if one can create a boundary around Delhi. The airshed of Delhi is at least 300-kilometer radius in and around Delhi. So every activity that happens in the 300-kilometer radius impacts the air quality of Delhi. As far as Delhi is concerned, only 20% of Delhi's pollution originates from inside Delhi because it's a small city state. 80% of it originates from the NCR area. So as people living in North India, we have to first educate ourselves and we have to agree that it is every activity happening in the 300-kilometer radius that impacts all of us. So as we speak today, let me just complete. As we speak today, it is Delhi, it's Ghaziabad, it's Noida, it's Greater Noida, Meerut, Hapur, Muradabad, Sonipat, Panipat. All of those are in 400 plus AQI. So just the Delhi government taking a few actions will not impact the AQI.
Let's talk about the Supreme Court intervention this time around. And the Supreme Court has, from the big picture on pollution that you're talking about, they also brought up small issues like, for instance, repairing the broken smog tower in Delhi. That at least is something that is within your ambit. So why not take those measures instead of looking at the big picture? Yes, we should look at the picture, and I'll come to that, the big picture. But what about the smaller issues?
So let me tell you what all the Delhi government has done in the last 9 years. One of the most polluting things in Delhi used to be the 3 thermal power plants, which were in Delhi. We shut all of those 3 down. And so Delhi now buys very expensive electricity from the grid, but we are happy that at least we don't have polluting thermal power plants in Delhi. However, there are 11 power plants in the NCR region which are still using old technology, which the Supreme Court has commented on several times. They haven't been shut down. They haven't moved to cleaner technology. Point number 2, Delhi also used to get a lot of pollution from the vehicles. So in Delhi, all the buses now run on CNG. We've ordered 8,000 electric buses for Delhi. Very soon, in the next 2 years, you will see all of Delhi's fleet moving 100% electric in Delhi. We are giving very good incentives for two-wheelers also to move to electric. Delhi is the only city in the world where all new registrations, 18% are actually electric. We've invested heavily in plantations in Delhi. There are 23% of Delhi's tree cover, 23% of Delhi's land is under tree cover, which again is the highest for any city in the country. We've come down very heavily on industries in Delhi. As a result of that, all Delhi industries now run on clean fuel, and all the polluting industries have actually migrated out of Delhi. So there are a number of things that we've done in Delhi. We've come down very heavily
That's
on.
wonderful. That's
No, so let me
wonderful.
complete.
Yeah.
As a result of all of this, Delhi's internal pollution has actually gone down by 30%. But what I'm saying is that unless you have pollution from the NCR region,
And
which
which is
impacts
where
us, which is doesn't come down.
which is where I'm coming from, because the largest chunk of pollution literally is coming from Parali, for instance, the Parali burning issue. What have you done? You are in power in Punjab also. So, but what have you done to curtail this issue of Parali burning, which is causing the vehicle pollution? I understand the measures that you've taken for EVs, etc. Yes, but that will only contribute so much, because in any case, you're saying from internal Delhi, very less pollution. It's
yeah,
largely outside.
outside Delhi.
So you are in power in Punjab. I think Mr. Kejriwal even said that if we come to power in Punjab, we will take strict measures and reduce this parali burning or cut down this parali burning so that Delhi breathes cleaner. It's been 1 year since you've been in power in Punjab. What have you done about it?
So in 1 year, what we've done is we've empowered the farmers. We've done a lot of capacity building of the farmers, their information and what technology they can use, what kind of machines they should be using. We've invested heavily in the baling industry. We've incentivized industry over there to take the biomass, convert it to ethanol, convert it into electricity. As a result of this all of the steps in the last 1 year, Aditi, parali burning in Punjab has gone down by 50%. This is just 1 year. One has to also realize that these are very traditional farming practices. So it's not like overnight one can change them. However, I'm very happy to say that in the 1 year, parali burning in Punjab has come down by 50%.
But that's not what the NASA Worldview report, for instance, points out. It says it shows a significant increase in farm fires. Let's say even just in the last weekend, the November 4th and 5th weekend, it's just gone. I mean, like 12,000 farm fires, for instance, in Punjab versus just, let's say, 2,000 farm fires in Haryana.
So I'm actually quoting ISRO data, the Indian government data, which will tell you that as of today, if you look at last year till today, the farm fires have come down by 50%.
Okay.
Also, we should not demonize farmers, because farmers don't want to burn
Nobody's
parali.
demonizing.
It's
Absolutely.
the last resort that they resort to, because once they burn, it's their lungs and their family's lungs which are impacted the first. It's only after that that the smoke comes to Delhi. Yesterday, the Supreme Court also very categorically told the central government that you have to give funds to make sure that farmers have other alternatives, that farmers are given an MSP for other crops. For example, we've been asking the central government for a long time now that farmers want to move away from rice, but because there's no MSP for other crops, they don't move away from rice. They are still stuck in the rice cycle. So if we want the farmers to stop burning parali, then we have to ensure that there is an MSP for millets and some of the other crops, for the lentils, which the farmers have been asking for. And yesterday, I was very happy to note that even the Supreme Court directed the central government, please make sure that you create a fund for the farmers, for MSP, for other crops. So I'm hoping that the central government will now take cognizance of what the Supreme Court has said yesterday. And very soon we should have a fund so that the farmers in Punjab, Haryana, UP, Rajasthan do not grow rice, because A, the water table has gone down, B, there is the issue of parali. But if the farmers are assured that the government will buy other crops from them, they will slowly move away from rice, which is what we've also been trying to educate the farmers. In the last 1 year, that's what we've done. We've requested farmers, we've held classes for them, that what is it that they can do to move away from rice.
So how many, let's say you've conducted these sessions with farmers, what has been the response of farmers so far?
The response has been very good. The only limiting factor is always the MSP. See, farmers in North India grow rice because they have an assured buyback from the government. Now, in this day and age of climate change, the yields are impacted so much that no farmer wants to invest in a crop where they're not assured at what price they'll be able to sell.
Hmm.
So, we have a millet mission going on right now in the country, which I'm sorry to say is only on paper. Not many farmers are actually moving to millets, because unless the government says that we will assure you that we will buy this millet back from you at such and such price, farmers will be very happy to move to millets or to lentils. We launched a mission for moong dal this year in Punjab, which was very successful. A lot of the farmers actually moved to moong because the government of Punjab bought that moong back from the farmers. But paddy, to buy back other crops, government needs resources, government needs funds, and those funds can
And
only come from the center.
those, and the center will also say the same thing, that it is, there is always this back and forth. Do you think that, okay, perhaps if AAP had better relations with the central government in this case particularly, do you think it would have been a smoother sailing to reduce the pollution in the national capital? Because relations are so fraught most of the time that it is there's just more politics than anything else, or even a huge issue, a health concern like pollution.
I think, Aditi, all of us have to move above politics, above party lines. I will quote you a study of WHO from 2019.
Mm.
The study says that 99.5 percentage of districts in India, 99.5 percentage of districts of India do not have air quality up to the WHO standards, which means it's a crisis for the whole country. There are several small cities and towns. My parents live in a small town in UP. We don't even have an air pollution monitor. So we are not even measuring air pollution in many, many tier 2, tier 3 cities.
And very well said that we have to move above politics, but then politics that, and just like other parties, our AAP is also guilty of the same, isn't it? Because we're not able to. Suddenly, I hear these talks about Punjab is not so much to blame; it's 500 kilometers away, and Haryana and Uttar Pradesh are to blame. But that's also politics, because till a few years ago, when your party was not in power in Punjab, Punjab was a big concern, and there was a lot of hue and cry about Punjab being the source of this parali burning and polluting Delhi.
See, we have to recognize as a country that a large part of our population right now is an air emergency. And I'm yet to see the central union minister, environment minister, or the prime minister talk about it. If 99.5% of our population is breathing bad air, why is the parliament not discussing it?
Like a
Did
spokesperson.
we ever in the last
question.
5 years,
Yeah.
did you ever hear the parliament discuss the issue of air pollution?
And I will talk to them when they come in front of me. Right now, you are sitting in front of me, so I'm asking you, how is the Aam Aadmi Party? I mean, do you believe that the AAP is also guilty of the same politics which you accuse other people of doing on pollution?
Not at all, Aditi. We have been writing letters to the central government, not blaming anybody. We wrote a letter in July to the Union Environment Minister saying that it's July again. Very soon we are going to again face the same issue. Why don't you call all of us together? All the NCR states, call us together. Give us targets. I really like to quote the example of China. I've studied air pollution very, very deeply. If you look at what China and Beijing was facing 10 years ago, it's exactly what we are facing right now. Okay. But they did not blame anybody. The central government there called it's called provincial governments. They called all the provincial governments. They gave everybody targets. And the targets were measurable. The targets were time bound. So, for example, the central government should call Haryana, UP, Punjab, Delhi and say that these are the 5 things you have to do in the next 2 years. These are the 10 things you have to do in the next 10 years.
That's a very good solution.
And measure that. Aditi, measure that. Penalize governments or incentivize them. If you tell Delhi, I'll give you a few examples from Delhi. We made registration of diesel vehicles expensive in Delhi because we know diesel vehicles are more polluting than petrol or CNG vehicles. What happened? All those vehicles are now being registered in UP and Haryana. Did that clean the airshed of Delhi? No. We lost all the revenue. We came very heavily on industries in Delhi. In Delhi, we said no burning of pet coke, no burning of bad fuel. What happened? All those industries just moved outskirts of Delhi to Ghaziabad, continued to pollute Delhi, and we lost the revenue again. So it is not a fight that one state government can fight on its own. It's a fight we have to do together
And
for the
that's
sake of our
China.
children, for the sake of our older people, for the sake of all our lungs.
And as China, easier to do it in China, where you control all the provincial governments, more tougher perhaps to do in a country like India, where every state is run by somebody else, and therefore, then again, what we're talking about, the politics of it gets into the way. Would you say politics, and I'm not taking any party names here, would you say that politics has brought us to where we are today as far as pollution is concerned?
Actually, I sometimes feel there's not enough politics on air pollution. There is not enough politics on issues of environment. The politics is on issues of minorities and on what you are eating, what I'm eating. I really wish if the whole country today said that air pollution is a big political issue. If people started saying that unless you clean the air, we are not going to vote for you. I think that that is what will actually make the politicians take some action.
Okay. So, right now, therefore, you're saying then that's a good thought. Can you assure us on this show that next November will be better for Delhi? It's given that pollution is still not a election issue or a voting issue.
For Delhi, for Aam Aadmi Party, it's always been an issue. We are the only party that talk about it. The Chief Minister of Delhi is the only Chief Minister in the whole country that talks about AQI.
That's because
How
the
many
pollution levels are higher here than
No,
in most.
pollution levels are the same in Gurgaon. They are the same in Greater Noida. They are the same in Ghaziabad, in Meerut, Banaras, Lucknow. All of those places, pollution levels are the same. Have you ever heard the UP Chief Minister or the Haryana Chief Minister?
AQI in Lucknow is not at
Get
this
it
level.
checked. The
I
AQI in
have
Lucknow
just
is
come
quite
from
bad.
Lucknow last
The
week.
AQI of Ghaziabad, what is the AQI of Ghaziabad?
Ghaziabad, yes, but that's NCR. That's part of the
Yes.
National Capital Region.
AQI of Muradabad is as bad as Delhi. But we have never heard the other Chief Minister. I wish everybody would wake up and be as proactive as Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and say that these are the 5 things we will do to make sure that our citizens are not breathing bad air.
So, what are the 5 things that you will do between now and next November to make sure that we are breathing easier?
A, we will continue to ask the central government to make a body for the NCR region.
Okay.
See, there has to be a body for NCR region. Delhi government doing things on its own can only do as much as we've done now. So we will continue to work with the central government, continue to request them that have a body for NCR region. Secondly, we need to work more on dust in Delhi. I think there are lots of small constructions happening where not enough measures are being taken. Again, we will continue to invest more in public transport. We want to make our buses even better, even more reliable. And we want to also encourage all of us Delhiites to move more and more to public transport. I think those are the 4 things that we will continue to do. We are doing that. We will do it even more in the next 1 year.
All right. All the best for that. And let's hope next November is decidedly better. Thank you so much
Thank you
for joining us today. And thank you, viewers, for watching this broadcast.